years. It's the PM Show Weekend Edition on CRN Digital Talk Radio. The star of our show, the one and only Mr. Fred Dryer, along with our guest, author of this new book called Bullies, also a talk show host on KRLA Radio in Southern California, Ben Shapiro.
Thank you so much, Michael Horn. And yes, welcome back to the show. Yeah, Ben is a multi-hyphenate, as they say in the
He is a multi-hyphenate.
He is a terrific author, and he's on top of his subject, and the subject is bullies, how the left's culture of fear, intimidation silences Americans. You know, Ben, what's really interesting, what we always do over here is I put more energy being a conservative, a constitutional conservative, than I am certainly a Republican. I'm not a Republican, and I'm not trying to recruit people to the Republican Party. As a matter of fact, I think not only are the things that you write about so truthful and have such an impact, but what is accompanied with that, what is partnered with that, is the cowardice that's in the GOP. And did you know that Reince Priebus was reelected for 2 more years, and he ran uncontested?
Yeah, I mean, it is truly amazing. The lack of just basic understanding of how marketing works and how the left operates is unbelievable on the part of the Republican Party.
Yes.
They continue to play this game as though the left wants to be friends. And then they say, you know what, our real problem is that we have to rebrand ourselves. Okay, in any argument, if somebody calls you a racist and then you say, you know what, I really have to rebrand myself, you know what that is? That's admitting you're a racist.
Exactly.
Really
exactly right.
How do you do it, though, Ben? How do you change everything around when you got to remarket? How did the Republican Party get into this mess? And then how are they going to turn it around?
It's not about remarketing ourselves. It's about remarketing the other side.
Yeah.
We have to get away from this idea that we have to remarket who we are and what we do and what we stand for. None of that is true. Reagan won because Reagan defined the other side. You define your opposition. You have to do it within the first 30 seconds of any debate. It's unbelievably important to the Republican Party, and that more importantly, the conservatives start to recognize this. The fact is that they've won the debate because we're arguing policy and they're arguing character. We're arguing political, discussion, and they're arguing that we're bad human beings.
That's
the
right.
fact is,
That's
when you call somebody here's how we should be arguing. When you call somebody a racist without justification, you are the bad human being. When you say that someone is a sexist without justification, you are the morally deficient one. The people that we are fighting, they are bad characters. They are not good actors. They do not deserve civility. I've said this before. I'll say it again. Civility is like the Geneva Conventions. Geneva Conventions, they're designed to protect people in uniform. They're not designed to protect people out of uniform. It's designed for mutuality. The left is out of uniform. They are not interested in a civil discussion on these issues. They're interested in demagoguing.
Yeah, we're being murdered with our own civility, and it keeps happening, and it's like we're crazy people. You're doing the same thing, thinking that it's going to be different. We've gone through George Herbert Walker Bush, a failure, Bob Dole, a failure, T-Rex John McCain, a failure, Mitt Romney, a failure. We have gone through presidential candidates that have been shuffled towards us by the GOP that hires people like Reince Priebus, has no standards of operation. It was Michael Steele for a couple of years, and he was pathetic. He was going around, hit every buffet in town, and said absolutely.
Because we're trying to be fair.
They had absolutely nothing.
Trying to be fair.
They don't know what the narrative is. It's coming at them. They don't know how to break it. They don't know how to create their own narrative. And when it comes right down to it, in order for us to go forward, we're going to have to look to people like Marco Rubio. Now, I like Rubio, but he had better gear up, and he had better find some compatriots in the Republican GOP that's going to come to his aid and.
I think that there are a couple folks in the new wave who actually get this. I think Rand Paul gets it. I think that Ted Cruz from Texas gets it. Mm-hmm. Both of them I'm friends with. Both of them, I know are fans of the book. But the fact is that what we have to get away from, we really have to get away from the idea that every time they say that we're racist, we shift our position. You see it on immigration, right? Mm-hmm. The Hispanic population didn't vote for us. Let's shift our position on immigration. What nonsense. What nonsense. You know why the Hispanic population thinks that we are a bunch of racists? Because every time we're called racist, we shift our position. It makes us look defensive.
We're cowards.
It makes us look ridiculous.
Looks weak.
We're cowards. What we ought to be doing, this is patent, okay? there's no holding your ground in politics. There's just not. You can't be William F. Buckley standing athwart the rails of history shouting, "Stop." There's a train coming down those tracks. We had better be, and standing on those tracks ain't going to help. You can get smushed.
And you know what?
Moving the other direction with a train just as powerful and 3 times as fast.
And you know what? It's the old Reagan, well, there you go again. That's all it takes, is just to go ahead and nail them every time they go ahead and try to rebrand us.
Exactly. We have to be sitting there and we have to be debunking their tactics day after day after day. And we have to be pointing out that it's their despicable tactics to make politics unworkable in this country.
Well, that has to become our business model, Ben. And I got to tell you, I really, really greatly appreciate the time you've allotted for us to talk about this. I would love to talk to you more about it at some point in time. Perhaps we will. Maybe we can have you come in studio at some point in time. But I want to tell the folks, go out and get this book. I bought it yesterday. I had to drive around a couple places and go get it. But I want to thank you, Ben. I want to thank you so much for being on our show, and God bless and good luck to you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Ben Shapiro, the book is called Bullies, How the Left's Culture of Fear and Intimidation Silences America.
Listen, if you're considering buying hardwood flooring, don't do anything until you've written down this number and